Hello, I'm Zev from ZevViews8 and this is another rant. GTA 5 has been banned in Target and Kmart across the land. Australia it is, where they say it advocates violence towards women and is meant for kids. Well, guess what? Not meant for kids. Doesn't advocate violence towards women. Advocates violence towards all minorities, races, genders, and majorities of people. Trevor Phillips says I'm an equal opportunity psychopath. That should count for something. And besides the point, that's not how the game is meant to be played. They're twisting it and making it something which it is not. They're making it into not only a feminist agenda, which by the way it really isn't, because true feminists advocate for all race and genders, and this is just for women, by the way. And also, true feminists are anti-censorship and pro-freedom of speech. This game is not misogynistic. It's art. It's art which some people consider offensive or whatever, but it's still an art form just as much as a movie is. It's an art form in that it lets people express their wildest fantasies of criminal desires without actually having to do anything wrong. And that's the whole beauty of the game. And the fact that these feminazis in Australia, who are former sex workers by the way, so I really don't think they should be the ones to tell you and get up on that moral high ground and tell you how this is advocating violence towards women when they were former sex workers themselves, which isn't the most moral thing to do as a profession, and it's highly illegal, so I don't understand why these people have not been rounded up for admitting to crimes, but that's another question. Fact is, they got their facts wrong. Just as GTA isn't a cop-killing simulator, as it was tried to be asserted in a court case in America about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, it's also not a women beating simulator. That's not the main aim of the game. The main aim of the game is to rise up in the criminal underworld. Yeah, I guess you could beat prostitutes after having sex with them to get your money back, but you've been able to do that since GTA 3. So this is obviously not an uproar about that. It's an uproar about something new, which they don't understand. But it's funny they haven't been freaking out about it and getting 40,000 signatures when GTA 3 came to Australia. You know, that's interesting. It's also interesting they tend to go on these like crazy crusades about something which is actually fictional. None of this is real, people! Oh, this is not real. I don't understand what's so hard to get about that. Wait, whoops. Oh, blew myself up. Alright, anyhow, I don't understand what's so difficult to understand the adults, i.e. the audience of this game, which is not children, because the game is rated M for mature, just like an R-rated movie is rated R, which means you have to be 17 and older to buy any of those things without your parental consent, which means it's not geared towards children. And to insinuate that it is a blatant lie and a transfiguration of facts. Is that even the word? I don't think it is, but I really don't care at this point. It's made me so pissed off that I'm speaking nonsense words. Wait. There we go. Alright, do you guys want to hear some quotes? You probably do. Alright, here's the sitch as is. Here's some quotes. I'll get you some, but first let's do something funny. What to do? Alright, I got it. Let's climb one of these buildings and play sniper. fact is, these women, not women in general, but these women, don't trust guys to understand the difference between what's real and fictional. What's the difference between this and book burnings? Really, what's the difference between this and book burnings? This is just a newer form of book burnings. It honestly is. It's people taking something they don't agree with or think is the devil or think it's evil and going on a crazy crusade about it and making sure other people shouldn't have the ability to experience it for what it is and not for what they make it out to be. They're limiting others when they can just, if they don't like it, they don't have to play it and they don't have to support it themselves. Here's some reasons they give for why limiting others is okay in this, oh crap. Could've got like a 50 cup kill right there. Wait. There we go. Yes, I found some stairs. Yay. Damn it. Oh well. There's a perfect time to find my quotes from these people and disprove them, because that's a great part of this. Here we go. Finding the quotes. First, why they pulled the game off the shelf. Not because of its content, but because of, here, get this. But because of the petition itself. Here's a direct quote. Target Australia will pull popular R-rated video game Grand Theft Auto 5, GTA 5 on its shelves. After all, a petition slammed the game for encouraging players to commit sexual violence and kill women. There's no rape, there's no sexual violence in this game. And it doesn't promote the killing of women, it promotes the killing of all people equally. I don't get anything more for killing women than I do killing men. I really don't. Nothing at all. There's no difference. It's the same. They're treated the same. Maybe you can say there's not enough strong female characters, whatever. You can play with females online. Like, as a female character online. There's female cops in this game. Not many, but there are. Well, that's not true. That's not true that there's not many. There's just as many female cops in this game as male cops. In fact, the female cops are actually of a higher rank than male cops in this game, seeing as most of the female cops I've seen are sheriffs. So, just to put that by you, that's another position of power that women occupy in this game. What about Maud? Maud is a self-made woman who's not scared of any guy. She isn't in the game. I don't understand how that's discrimination against women. Like, which part of this game is exactly discrimination against women versus discrimination against, versus violence against everywhere? I keep saying discrimination instead of violence. Versus violence against everyone. I don't understand. I really just don't. I mean, just as easily kill a guy. What about in Bayonetta, where you're a chick and you kill guys? Maybe that's discrimination against men. Maybe we should start a petition against that. Or better yet, what about in the new Tomb Raider games where Lara Croft kills pretty much almost only men, rather than this game where you can kill men or women? So I find that interesting. Men have made a petition against that being basically the opposite, being oppression towards men. I can kill this chick just as easily as I can kill a guy. I can't rape her, however, which is what this thing alleges. So that's what sexual violence insinuates. Here we go. Here's some, like, back to the quotes. Games like these are grooming yet another generation of boys to tolerate violence against women, the petition said. Problem here. You said boys and you said grooming. Boys aren't the target audience in this game since 50% of the gamers are chicks. So just as many chicks play this game as guys do. Just saying. Just for a factual reference over here. So that's alienating. That's alienating and trying to speak for women who do not wish for it to be spoken for by your group of people because they don't have the same beliefs as you. Yet you're pushing your beliefs on them and making it seem as if, oh, if you don't agree with us, you're part of the male oppression problem on women, which is, by the way, ridiculous because this game isn't about male oppression on women. In fact, Trevor is one of the characters who supports the what's it called?
It's just a possession. Let it go now.
The saving of women in abusive relationships. He rips the ear off of that guy who was beating his wife and says if you want you call me back if he does anything else to you. So this game is actually the opposite and is anti-beating of women. If you're gonna look at straight up story material instead of go on a crazy crusade when you don't know anything. Furthermore, this lady wanted to only be identified as Nicole from Perth says the following. Nicole of Perth argues that this type of exposure content changes players' brains and makes them more likely to engage violence against women. You know, in real life, because, quote, they have upped the ante with it being first person, i.e. the next gen GTA 5 is first person. Why haven't they, what's it called, by the way, regardless of it being first person or not, if they believe that it changes players' brain chemistry, should they have made a petition about this when there was beating of prostitutes to get your money back in GTA 3? I mean, come on, it's obviously part of your agenda and has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with feminism or women's rights at all. Being that this is a fictional environment anyhow, and no one is stupid enough to really believe that this is reality and this is something they should be emulating. And if they are, they're far too young to be playing this game in the first place, and they won't be to begin with if their parents have read the ratings. So it's like, it blows my mind on all levels of stupidity, because it's just firing on all cylinders of absolute retard right now. It's firing on all cylinders of absolute retard. Oh shit. Yeah, that was gonna happen. Here we go. She says, again, Nicole Perth says, to think the award center in our brain is being aroused is disturbing. Here's just a message direct to whoever this person is, Nicole Perth. The reward center in your brain is actually activated by a variety of things. It ensures the endorphin chemical, which is the chemical that's a feel-good chemical in your brain, like basic psychology. Makes you feel good, such as when you take a run, go to the gym, eat chocolate, play Super Mario Brothers. Apparently that's against violence towards women too. What about all the violence towards men in this game? Because you know, original feminists, they were for equality for all. So you should be basing your petition on all the violence towards men in this game. There's a whole lot more of it than the violence towards women. Are you kidding me? You kill a hell of a lot more men than women. There's no women assassination missions. There's no women gangsters that I've seen. So, like, you kill a lot more men. Maybe it should be more equal. Maybe there should be more women killing this game. I mean, like, if we're gonna preach equality throughout. But also remember, this game is a fictional universe. Fictional violence does not equate actual violence. I'll be posting studies to prove that. Oh, and by the way, see this first-person cam right here in the cars? That's been, I'm pretty sure, every single GTA. Every single 3D GTA. If not, I know it's for sure been since San Andreas. So, I can't remember if it's in Vice or not, Vice City. So, why weren't there more petitions against this before is what I want to know. It's because this is something new, and something they can feel they can get a hold on, something they can feel that aligns with their agenda or whoever's got together with them or whatever it is. It's not about women's rights, because these same people would be funding shelters for battered women and funding campaigns to get women's rights in the Middle East where they're very, very crappy. These same people would be funding campaigns to have more in-work training programs about what's appropriate, inappropriate to say to your female co-workers. These people would be funding actual things that make a difference and not squabbling over fictitious bullshit. Seriously, that's what this is. Fictitious bullshit. That's all this is right now. Here's some more genius quotes for you. Again, same person, Nicole Perth. Nicole, people will say, "You're a prude. You want to ruin my fun." But it's about torturing and the ritualized murder of women. It's frightening that people are desensitized to it. There's no, by the way, there's no reports or conclusions that shows people get desensitized from violence by playing it out in video games more than movies or any other platform. So they really should be banning the honeymooners, because the honeymooners, that guy threatens to beat his wife every episode. No, that's a classic television show. It's a comedy. We can't ban such a piece of Americana. In 10 years, this is gonna be a classic piece of Americana just the same. So just now, because it's something that's new, is why you're going crazy over it. And admit it, that's why. It's not because it's violence towards women. It's because you honestly can. And you have something to ban all of society's problems on, instead of finding the actual root cause to society's problems. It's all in defeating that agenda. If we just take away one thing, we can solve all our problems. That's such a bullshit agenda. It just...
You want a piece of me?
It's not helpful at all. Not even a little bit. And that's what this is. That's the agenda this conglomerate is part of. That's exactly what this is. Here's their absolute final rationale that I'm gonna disprove and take away because it just boils my blood when I'm thinking about it. Here it is. Nicole was a victim of violence when she worked as a prostitute. Said that this glorification of violence was particularly traumatic. It is exceptionally triggering for survivors to see it advertised on buses and go into businesses and see it on the shelves. You see, violence against women isn't advertised on buses, in businesses, or on the shelves. The game is advertised. For you to know that, in order for you to have the traumatic experience, you would have had to research and go into it, thereby creating a traumatic experience for yourself by seeing said virtualized violence. So therefore, your argument is null and void, because since the game doesn't portray that to begin with on advertising, you would have had to go and look it up for that reaction to have occurred. Basically putting the blame on yourself. Not for the violence which happened to you, but for the reaction which you're getting by looking up in the game, if you know that's going to give you a PTSD type reaction to the violence which you're seeing on screen. Don't look it up. It's not being advertised. It's not pushed in your face. Don't support it. But idiocy runs wild in our culture, and the blame game corrupts everyone and everything. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Is a famous quote that really should be adhered to situations such as these, because no one should be given absolute power, and companies shouldn't back out in fear of lawsuits. I'm Zeb from Zeb Hopefully I've proved something. If I haven't, I'll have studies for you to look into. Peace.